Loaded edition of New York, New York. It's JJ John Jastremski, rocking and rolling here on this fine Monday. But let's be perfectly honest about something. It's anything but fine. It's anything but okay. It's anything but business as usual if you're a fan of the New York Mets. So much for losing 12 in a row, being rock bottom in the 2026 season. You thought maybe, just maybe, the Mets, by winning consecutive games against the Minnesota Twins, could, dare I say, find their footing. Could, dare I say, get their season back on track. Welcoming the lowly, hapless, sad sack Colorado Rockies to Citi Field. Well, as you wake up Monday morning, here's the reality you're staring in the face if you're a fan of the New York Mets. The Mets just got swept by the Colorado Rockies. Swept. Outplayed, outclassed by the Colorado Rockies. The same Mets with $1 zillion on their payroll. Transforming a lineup that, by the way, was one of the highest scoring offenses in all of baseball a year ago. Scored, you ready for this? 1 run in 2 games against that pitching staff. Did they face Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson? Was it Maddox, Schmaltz, and Glavine? Hey, was it Ubaldo Jimenez? You're watching the Colorado Rockies. Who are these guys? Who are they? You do a who's who walking around New York City trying to name Colorado Rockies. I'd say 3/4 of Citi Field would be lucky to name 5 guys, and they came in and embarrassed you. Humiliated you. Don't pretend this is business as usual anymore. It's not. Don't tell me it's April. I don't care. The Mets are double-digit games under 500. Double digits. What's today's date? Thank you, computer. April the 26th. It is April the 26th. You are double-digit games under 500. You scored 1 run in 2 games against the Rockies. You've had about 15 or 16 games this year where you've either been shut out, you've scored a run, or you've scored 2 runs. Oh, but there's nothing to worry about. It's April. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. To hell with that! You spent $1 zillion in the offseason. This is supposed to be a championship caliber team. Championship caliber. They're not even a 500 team. They're not even a 5 below 500 team. There are no answers. And I know what I'm about to do carries serious gravitas. I'm aware of words mattering. They're significant. And I want to make something clear. I like Carlos Mendoza. I think Carlos Mendoza did a fantastic job in his first year managing the Mets. He also was a manager responsible for one of the biggest collapses in baseball history over a 3-month span. Yes, the Mets changed the roster. Yes, this is David Stern's production. We all know that. But you reach a point in time where you have to look at yourself if you're in Met management. And that means Steve Cohen. And that means David Stearns. Where you just have to say to yourself, hey, I can't change the players. I have to do something different. And that's where the manager, fair or unfair, becomes a sacrificial lamb. Is it entirely fair to suggest that Carlos Mendoza should be fired on Monday? In some ways, no. But you know what makes it fair? What happened over the weekend? What am I referencing? Alex Cora inexplicably got fired by the Boston Red Sox because the Boston Red Sox are a clown show. John Henry is clueless. Craig Breslow is clueless. And they fired one of baseball's best managers and one of the few managers in the sport that is a legitimate difference maker. Cora is one of those guys. He is now available for anyone in baseball to hire. There is another team in your division that has a GM that won a world championship with Alex Cora that's probably within the next few weeks going to be looking for a new manager in Rob Thompson because they're going to get rid of him. Phillies, Cora, aging, got to try something. Do you want to get beat out by a division rival for Alex Cora? I, for one, would not. So if I am Steve Cohen, as unfair as this may be to Carlos Mendoza, the decision on Monday is a simple one to me. I'm calling Carlos into my office. I'm thanking him for his 2+ years as Met manager. And I'm getting on the phone with Alex Cora. And I don't care if David Stearns doesn't like this. Hey, David Stearns, sorry, collaboration, stick it. I'm getting a manager who's analytically driven. I'm getting a badass. I'm getting somebody who's going to come in here and hold people accountable and has done nothing but win. Despite some of the commentaries that are out there, oh, he's overrated as a manager. Look at the last couple of years in Boston. Those teams sucked. You telling me Boston has been running out some championship product over the last few years? Are you paying attention? Last year's team wasn't any good. They didn't belong on a field with the Yankees, and they made the Yankees sweat in Game 2 of the wild card series. Guy's an unbelievable manager. And there aren't many that are difference makers in the sport. He's one of them. He's available. And he's salty AF. He wants to work. I'd want to hire him. That's the call I'm making. And I don't give a rat's ass if David Stearns wants somebody he can mold. You know what? Learn to work with Carlos Mendoza. Learn to work with Carlos Mendoza. We've seen that. Last year plus. Hasn't exactly worked out. Learn to work with Alex Cora. And if you can't, then you're a part of the problem. And for those who are going to say, well, this is David Stearns' baby, you're right about that. David Stearns is going to be shown more leash. I'm not saying that's fair. I'm not saying that's right, but it's true. He is going to be shown more of a leash. Figure out a way to make it work. That's the move. Monday, I should be waking up. Carlos Mendoza is out. Alex Cora is in. Because my caveat to anyone who's going to say, hey, JJ, write it out. What have we been doing the last 3 weeks? They just lost 12 in a row. Great, they won 2 games in a row. They get swept by the Rockies. Why am I supposed to believe that this, it's going to turn around? Oh, you got to have hope. Oh, you got to have faith. Oh, you got to have patience. Why? Why? It's a mess. Carlos Mendoza talking in between games about, hey, the effort's not there. Well, why is the effort not there? You're saying it. These are your words, not mine. Your words. Can't continue. It's a tough business. I'm not suggesting this is an easy thing to do. And Carlos Mendoza is a good man. He's a good baseball man. Sometimes circumstance hits you hard. This is a perfect storm. Your team is a hot mess. They were a hot mess at the end of last year. You spent $1 zillion, and you're the biggest joke in Major League Baseball. Although the Red Sox and the Phillies may say, hold my beer. But you know what? I'm going to say, at the moment, it's the Mets because of what happened last year. To have what happened last year followed up by this, it's not salvageable. As is. Just not salvageable. Something's got to give. So we have that situation with the Mets. I don't even know where I transition because anything I'm about to say right now, it kind of pales in comparison. Obviously, we did our Knicks dissertation from a stupendous Game 4, the Cat game, the way the ball was moving, the way Anunoby was playing, Alvarado. I could wax poetic forever. And I said it last night, I'll say it again. This series better be over in 6 games. The Knicks are so much better than the Hawks. If they play their best game, Atlanta cannot match that. Bring it on Tuesday. bring it on Thursday and talk about this series coming to a close. That's my edict from this pulpit to the boys that play on 31st Street and 7th or 8th Avenue, or between 7th and 8th Avenue, for those of you keeping score. So, you needed to respond. They did respond. We will have Bobby Skinner and Will Parkinson to give us the full recaps of what we saw with the Jet draft and what we saw with the Giant draft. And so much for Kayvon Thibodeau getting traded. I think the Giants were probably in a position where they wanted to trade Kayvon Thibodeau. They probably didn't get what they wanted in return, so now they got to play nice. Now they got to figure it out. That's all well and good. I love the way John Harbaugh handled everything that went on with Malik Neighbors. That's leadership. That's exactly what I'm paying for if I'm John Mara. To be the sort of guy that's going to rein in the operation, but show that you get the modern-day player. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to John Harbaugh's comments after the draft, talking about Malik Neighbors and his dissertation on what the Giants should be doing with the 5th pick and wide receiver and everything that comes with it. Because, to be honest, I like Malik Neighbors. I met him at Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I think he's a really charming guy. He's got to pipe down. He's got to pipe down. I don't need, and this would drive me crazy if I ran a team. If you're going to be doing these shows, if it's going to constantly be news for me, if I'm running the team, that's a problem. That's going to wear me out. See, Brunson and Hart doing their podcast, I got news for you. It doesn't, they get their numbers, they do great. Listen, they're two popular guys. But they know how to kind of like toe the line. They do. Because Brunson's got a lot of Jeter in him with the way he deals with the media. He just gets it. Gets it. Neighbors, I'm not sure he does. He's got to learn. So Harbaugh reined him in brilliantly. As for the Yankees, I have two thoughts before we hit calls. One, I would have been all over the Astros today. Yankees have been playing great. They swept the Red Sox. They won the first 2 games against the Astros. Luis Gil's start against the Red Sox was an absolute anomaly. He's walking too many guys. His stuff is flat. It's nowhere close to what it was 2 years ago. And that's why I told you guys he was incredibly lucky against Boston. He got absolutely shellacked and the Yankees sent him down to AAA. Great. That's where he should be. That means probably Rodon is on the way back. They probably don't need a 5th starter. But he was going to be the first casualty in this rotation because guess what? Warren and Weathers are throwing the ball so much better. The second interesting development going on in Yankee land. The people's shortstop is back, folks. You see Jose Caballero's numbers after the first week of the year? They're top-notch. The batting average, the stolen bases, the WAR, the F4, the defense, the attitude, the swagger, the winning intangibles. It's all there. Anthony Volpe's coming back. Literally since they announced Anthony Volpe was going on a rehab assignment, Caballero has played out of his freaking mind. What does this tell you, though? It tells you that Caballero is a foxhole guy. I want him out there. He makes the Yankees a better team. The Yankees have a love affair with Anthony Volpe. He's going to be given the starting shortstop job. That said, the idea of Anthony Volpe playing every single game for the New York Yankees should not be the case unless he earns it. I am mixing Caballero in the lineup multiple times a week. I'm going to get him days, even if he's not going to be at shortstop. And I'm lighting a fire on the Volpe's ass from Jump Street. And here's my message to Anthony if I'm Aaron Boone. Listen, welcome back. You're a shortstop. You better get going. This is not a situation where Anthony Volpe can say, "Oh, I'm gonna solo play the first couple weeks." Now, he normally gets off to good starts and fizzles out. That's kind of been his MO. We've seen it in years past. We saw it last year. We saw it 2 years ago. So don't be surprised if he gets off to a hot start, but he better. Because Caballero is lurking. And Caballero needs to still have a role for this Yankee team. He's too damn important. He's too damn important.